Hello friends, my name is Shivam from Devops Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopschool.com.
Guys, let me know if it is any better now. I switched to a better connection. Is it clear? My
Yes,
voice?
Vikas, we are able to hear. We are able to hear. There is no any breakage.
Okay, fine. So guys, what I was asking is I just created the resource. Okay, what I required from Terraform, it did the job. But I say this is really bad way of doing this. Why I'm saying so? Any ideas? Okay, let me tell you. So you can see that when I define this instance.tf file, okay, you can see I defined all the variables in this variable and its values in this file itself. Means I hard coded the things, which you must be knowing from the software practice. It's never a good thing to do. Okay. Moreover, I didn't customize it, the instance, the way I should have done. I should provide more details so that it's customized in the way I require. It should be in a specific VPC, or it should be at a specific network where I want to be. It should use. So you will see that I created an instance and I didn't even define how much disk space it should take. Okay, or which particular VPC and subnet it should go and reside in. Okay, so all those configuration details, and moreover, everything that should be dynamic. It should not be hard coded. Okay, so this was a good simple demo. Okay, just to make you understand how Terraform works, but it's a terrible way of working. In fact, in our real time, we will never work like this. Okay, so let me show you how we work. Now we will again create the same resource, but in a better, or the way we actually work in the organization. So first of all, I need to get rid of this particular instance I created. So can someone give me the command for that? Guys, anyone? Yep. Thanks, Ashish. It is destroy. So that will help me to destroy this particular infrastructure. And just like apply, it will ask us whether you really want to destroy it, or you gave that command by mistake. Okay, you will see, just like apply, it will give you all the components it's going to destroy. So it is saying 0 to add, 0 to change, 1 to destroy. I'll say yes. And it will start destroying. that particular instance which we created in AWS. Let's see, this is in running state. If I refresh this, it's now shutting down. And in some time, its status will be, instance state will be terminated. This is done here, which corresponds here. It's this particular instance is terminated. Now let's go ahead and work in the actual way we work with Terraform to create our infrastructure. Let me create a folder. So let's start with the same file first, provider file. You're familiar with that. Okay, we will say provider AWS, but let's stop here. Now we will not define them here directly, and even we are not going to put our access key and secret access key here. See, those are credentials. It's a very bad practice to keep credentials in the in your files. So what we will do is,
Hey viewers, our Mastery in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
so it's a really bad practice to keep your credentials in the files. So Terraform and AWS, or I believe other providers have their ways to keep it securely, keep it in the form of environment variables. Okay, so I will just show you how it is done for AWS. Okay, but definitely there are other ways of means there are other providers also provide way to secure these credentials. Okay, so what I will do is I will save these, the AWS key and secret key, as environment variables. So our Terraform will read it from the environment variables rather than we keep them in the file here. Okay, for that we need to install an AWS utility. You must be knowing that, called AWS CLI. Okay, you have to just for Windows it's straightforward. You have to just download its MSI or exe, or you can run this command directly in your command prompt, and it should be done. Let me show you. Okay, now our AWS CLI is installed. So if I say AWS, so it should recognize that. Yep, dash v. Okay, so our AWS CLI is installed. Now I will type command called AWS Configure. Now what exactly I'm doing is I'm putting these, your access key and secret access key, as environment variables. Access key. Now it's asking for secret access key. You can see them defined already because I did that earlier. And you can define your default region as well. Default output you can leave none. That's it. Now I don't need to put, now these are stored as environment variables. Let me show you where these are stored. This is the path. So your see users, your particular username, under that it creates a hidden folder called AWS, and in that there is a file called credentials. Okay, you can open that. You will see that your access key and secret access key are now part of this local environment, and it's no way going into the your configuration files. Okay, further, as I said, we don't need to define all or we don't need to hard code those variables. Okay, so I will stop here for the providers. Let me create a file called variables. So I'm going to define something called as variables in Terraform. So like other programming languages, Terraform is not a very broad programming language. It was created for a purpose to create the infrastructure. So it doesn't have those many kind of variable definitions like this. It has very basic variable types. So like you have your string, okay, you have your list variable, there is something called map variable type, okay, boolean is there, okay, and there is one called output variable. So basically 5 or 6 type of variables it define. Mostly we use string only, okay, 99% cases we use only string. There are certain cases where we use map and Boolean. Okay, but mostly we will be using string. It recognizes almost everything with strings. Okay, I will show you how it does. Okay, and okay, so how it defines, now let's see how we define the variables in Terraform. So we'll just say variable, okay, intelligence name of the variable. So I can say, like, we have to define AMI. Okay, so I will just define AMI. You can now you can define that here as default and give that AMI here, but I'm not defining it here. Okay, I'll just leave this variable as it is.
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Then I will define access key. Maybe a secret access key. Okay. Now this time we will define our, like, we will define, means we will customize our instance which we are trying to create using Terraform. We will try to customize it more. Like, we will define the disk size which we are going to use. Okay, so let's say disk size itself. Okay, and the region we have to define the region. Well, let me just take for the time's sake, let me just copy these values on my existing ones. Okay, so this is my variable file. So I have defined few of them. I'll define in which VPC and subnet my instance will get into. Earlier we didn't define, so it automatically, the API, AWS API automatically put that particular instance into the default VPC and into any of the subnet it found appropriate. But we want to customize it now, because when we work in real time, we will not have only default VPC, and in some organizations they just disable or delete the default VPC and they create their own VPCs. Okay, so this will give error in that case. Okay, we will define the instance type, key name. Instance type we defined anyway already. Then key name also we defined. Now we will I'm putting certain tags. Okay, so I'm defining some variables for those tags. I will show you everything, how I'm going to use them. Okay, so these much are enough for us. Now we have created these variables. Let's define them. So there is a very specific type of file which is created to define these variables, which is called Terraform.tf wars. Okay, where the variables which we have created here, we will define the values for these variables. here. Okay, so anytime you are you need to change any values of these variables, you will do just at one place, that is called terraform.tf vars. In the means when you will study the advanced part of Terraform, there is a concept called modules, okay, which is not the scope of today's session. But in modules, what happens is, like, we are creating an instance. Okay, so you may say it's like it's a dev instance. Okay, now you need, so it's a dev environment, but you need to create probably what to say, UAT as well, and you need to create prod as well. In that case, when we use modules, we will just use single terraform.tf vars file for all the instances. Okay, that's where its power comes. Okay, but right now, that's an advanced topic. I'm not going into that. Just okay. So, so what I was saying, I have created these variables. Now I want to define these variables. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'll say AMI. Let me take it Amazon Linux 2 this time. Okay. Access key, we will give path to the access key now. Okay, we are not going to define the actual key here. So I will get this part. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. This is not, even I don't need the access key and secret access key. I just need the credential. Credentials with file, and I need credentials underscore profile. I will tell you what this is, what these variables are, and how these work.
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Okay, so this is the path of our credential file where our access key and secret access key is kept. Okay, if I open that file, this is what is called the profile. Okay, so the use of this is, like, you may have multiple AWS accounts. So you may have some profile like default 1, and it may have its own access key and secret access key. So that's what you are defining here, which one you are going to use, default or default 1. Okay. So which particular access key and secret access key corresponding to which profile you need to use. That's what it is. Now let me take it from the pre-populated values to save the time. Okay, VPC ID, subnet ID. I'll still go through them one by one so that okay, have we, so VPC ID, we have defined the VPC ID, yes. Subnet ID, key name, have we defined it as key name only? Key name, yep. So key name is, I showed you key pair, which we used. Okay, instance type, T3, let me go for micro only. Okay, EBS volume size. Okay, here I have taken it as disk size, so I will make it disk size. Let me make it 50 GB. So it's in gigabytes. Okay. I want to delete this. I want to show you how we change that. Okay, I have defined environment author description. AMI name I have already defined above, so I'm deleting this one. Okay, I think I have defined all of them. Now let's use them in the both the providers and instance. So if you remember, earlier we just created these two files when we created a basic type of instance. So we created only two files, instance.tf and providers.tf. We have now created two more files called Terraform.tf vars and variables.tf just to make it more robust. Okay. Now let's define all the same values but in a different manner. So we define region. Okay, we will say where dot. Okay, whatever variables we had defined now in the variables.tf will be populated here. Okay, so region name. I'll say okay. Now I will say shared credentials file. So I'll say where dot credentials file and profile equals to where dot what's the variable I have defined, credential underscore profile. Sorry. Okay, so what's happening is, in short, we created these variables, we declared those variables, we are using those variables. These are the Terraform definitions of those which will remain, which are standard. These are something which we have defined, so whatever name we want to give, we can give these. So our provider is defined now. Let's go to instance and let's start creating that instance. So we are creating a resource. It is of type AWS underscore instance. Okay, anything like EC2 instance. Let's define those three mandatory ones first. AMI where dot AMI. Okay, key name where dot key name, and the third one was our instance type. Okay, where dot instance type. Now for creating an instance, you know this much is enough, but we want to customize it more. Okay, so let's go ahead. So what we will do is we will define our root volume or disk, root disk. Okay, so it is called root block device. Okay, so let me take the properties of it from instance. Okay, volume size, volume type. So I will say volume size. Okay, I will say where dot disk. Where to find it? So
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.